Hi, and welcome to FireTech Talk. I'm your host, Sean Kelly, and today I'm speaking with Terry Victor, Senior Manager of Industry Relations at Johnson Controls Fire Protection, to continue our discussion on NFPA 915 and how remote inspections are shaping the industry. If you haven't already, please watch part 1. Terry, it's great to continue this discussion.
Well, thank you, Sean. Again, it's an important message to get out to the people about what NFPA 915 is all about, and I'm happy to be able to do that for you.
Well, great. Well, let's just jump right into it. So, how do users of other NFPA standards, how will they be able to utilize NFPA 915?
I see that there'll be several of the NFPA standards, especially the ones that I'm associated with, which are NFPA 13, NFPA 14, NFPA 20, and NFPA 25. Those are the water-based standards for sprinklers, standpipe systems, fire pumps, and inspection, testing, and maintenance. And every one of those standards now has reference in them to perform remote inspection and testing. However, there's no standard to point to do how do you do that? How do you perform these remote inspections and tests in accordance with these documents? So this will be a document, NFPA 915, that those standards can then point to and say, if you want to perform remote inspections or testing, then you can refer to 915 on how to do it. And there's other documents as well that can take advantage of that, like NFPA 4 on integrated testing, NFPA 72 on fire alarm systems, and others.
Fascinating. Can you tell us about remote testing, verification, monitoring, and instant availability of information?
I'll do my best, Sean, to share all that with you as we've discussed it at the technical committee level. Remote verification is one that NFPA 915 will describe how that's to be performed, what data is to be collected, and how it's to be transmitted back to the authority having jurisdiction. Remote testing is something that from the get-go we've tried to include in NFPA 915 so that someone goes out and if there is a stress test being performed on a component or there's a hydrostatic test being performed on a sprinkler system, then that can be included in part of the NFPA 915 verification process. Monitoring is a little different animal. We're not sure if NFPA 915 will include monitoring from the inception. Monitoring, it means just putting devices and probes and so forth on systems to know what the current state of that system is in. So it doesn't really involve an inspection, it doesn't really involve a test. It's ongoing monitoring, more for the owner, maybe some for the AHJ, but we don't know yet if NFPA 915 will include monitoring as one of its basic concepts.
Okay, great. What are some of the technologies that have evolved to support distant testing, and how does that benefit the AHJ or the building owner?
Well, many technologies, and again, COVID has sort of accelerated all these technologies. Before COVID, who used MS Teams and Zoom and some of these other programs that are out there that we use every day now? So these programs can be used live to witness NFPA 915 inspections and tests, and so can FaceTime. And again, who knows what other technologies might come along. But there's no limit on what technologies can be used for NFPA 915. Things are going up to the cloud, and that's where a lot of this data will be stored, and that's something that we will have to take control of as well and make sure we have guidance in NFPA 915 for how that's to occur.
Yeah, definitely. The data storage is going to be an important element.
Absolutely.
How does the Internet of Things work with automated testing and distance monitoring?
Well, all of this data, we see, right now, many of the ways of collecting this data and transmitting it is through the cloud. So the Internet of Things is, right in the middle of all of this technology that we're utilizing to perform NFPA 915 inspections and tests. And that's probably going to be the main mover of the data back and forth is through the Internet. Of course, again, if other technologies come along that can take its place, we'll certainly embrace those technologies as well. But right now, the Internet seems to be the vehicle in which a lot of this data will be transmitted back and forth, and stored as well. A lot of storage will be taking place on the Internet for this data.
Okay, interesting. There seems to be quite a few AHJs on the NFPA 915 Technical Committee. Why do you think there's such an interest from fire departments and AHJs?
Well, there's an interest because this will make their lives so much easier. And they've embraced this concept from the get-go. I'm on numerous NFPA technical committees, and I can tell you that there is not a representation on a lot of them from the AHJ community. In this case, because this is a document primarily for AHJs, there are multiple members. Almost a third of the committee is made up of authorities having jurisdiction of one sort or another. And it's a good thing that it is, because again, they will be the users of the document primarily. They'll give the permissions of using the technology that the document includes, and they're going to collect the data and witness it and do what they want to with it. The committee chair is also an authority having jurisdiction. Jim Muir out of Washington State is our technical committee chair, and he's been on the forefront of doing inspection, testing, and maintenance in accordance with NFPA 915. He kind of developed the concepts. So it's a document for AHJs, and we're glad to have AHJs on the committee to represent their interests.
Yeah, I bet. It's always helpful when the users that are going to be having to adapt to the change are fans of the change.
Absolutely.
Is there additional information available on this topic? Does NFPA provide any resources that people who are interested in this topic can reference?
There is, Sean. If you go to the NFPA website, and anyone can go to that website, general public is welcome. It's nfpa.org, and you click on standards, and then a list of standards, and then you go to NFPA 915 and click on that. And there'll be a block that will show you different options that are on that website. One of the options there is news. If you click on the news icon, there's a whole section on some documents. There's a white paper, there's a guidance, a one-page guidance sheet, and a lot of good information on remote inspections that people can use today and look at as a resource. So yes, NFPA does have additional resources on their website that people can look at and utilize.
That's great. Well, Terry, this has been such an interesting topic to discuss. We really appreciate your time and expertise.
Well, Sean, I appreciate, again, sharing what knowledge I have of NFPA 915 with you and with your audience, and I hope that they all go to the website and see what it's all about.
Definitely. It'll be interesting to see how this evolves in the near future. And thank you for watching. We hope you've enjoyed this discussion of FireTech Talk. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to subscribe to the Brooks YouTube channel to see this video and other great content.